What's up, people? It's your boy 4K back again, and today we are going to talk about financial literacy. Financial literacy that I'm talking about is going to help you really understand how to be financial literate. So, what is financial literacy? It is the ability to understand and effectively manage personal financial matters, and comprising skills such as budgeting, saving, investing, borrowing, and protecting assets. It involves the knowledge and confidence to make informed decisions about money, leading to improved financial well-being and ability to achieve personal and long-term financial goals. So, this is going to give you what is called as financial freedom. What is I know you want financial freedom. So I'm not going to waste any time. So the first thing you have to understand is we have only a few things to understand. The first thing is assets. The second thing is liability. The third thing is income. Then we have expense. So everything here, the way they flow from one another, it is called as cash flow. But I'm going to show you a correct way in order which you can use in your daily life, because rich people teach their children on matters about money and financial literacy, but poor people don't. And the reason and there's a thin line between rich and poor. It is financial literacy. So today we are going to unlock your mind. So let's do this. Let's have two things. Let's do this. So we have one box and another one, and we have another one and another one. So let's go. We are going to label this one. We are going to say that this is income. This is the expenses. Income, expenses. We have assets and liability. Hope you catching up until here. So let's start with a poor person. How does a poor person manage his cash flow? Everything here is called as cash flow. And this is what makes people rich. So, a poor person gets income. As he gets income, he comes down to expenses. Then he lives. These are people who are employed, mostly employed and self-employed. 90% of people fall here. 90% of people. Poverty. So all of the money they get from their income, they use it in expenses. Expenses are things like, let's say, food, shelter, partying. If you see someone partying, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to change the pen so that you can get a clear understanding. So a middle class person does this. Let me use a blue pen so in order for you to understand. So let's go to a middle class person. Middle class. He does this. He gets income to expenses From expenses, it goes to liabilities. Okay, liabilities to expenses, out. I'll explain. So I said expenses is food, so everyone has to use food and everything, and water and daily needs. But when it comes to liability, is house a liability or an asset? It is a liability. If it adds money to your pocket, if it adds money into your pocket, an asset, let's define these things. Assets, they add money to your pocket. Liability, take money from your pocket. They take money from your pocket. Understand that. So when somebody buy a house, they have to pay bills, they have to pay electricity, they have to pay mortgages. So these are expenses caused by the house. So it comes back. That is why if you buy a house, it's a liability, because and it touches the expenses. So it puts you into the middle class. What does a wealthy person or a rich person do? A rich person, from income to expense, he goes to assets. What is an asset? A car can be an asset, a car, a house, if that asset adds money into the income. That asset brings money into the income. This income, this assets, even if he buys another house which he has to pay to live in, this money, because it expenses, we have taxes. Most of the assets don't incur taxes. That's why we say that the rich keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poor. So from income, they can pay this house. So the first thing you should understand, that when you get income and take it to expenses, you have to go to assets. You may be asking, are people assets or liabilities? Let's say your family. When you are a young person, maybe let's say 20s, 30s to 40s, your family is an asset because they will help you somewhere. Because if we try to look at the quadrant, the cash flow quadrant, let's use this one. Let's use this one. If you try to use the cash flow quadrant, this is the person who is employed, an employee. This is someone who has a small business or is self-employed. This is someone who owns a big business and employs other people, and this is an investor. So when we're talking about because what you have to do if you are employed, you have to move into self-employment as fast as you can, because this thing is addicting. It is an addiction to be on this side of the chain. You have to move from there as soon as you can, because it is addicting. Once you get used to this side, you will never move to the right side. So as you move from employee to self-employed to starting your own business into investing. You get it? You should move from this quadrant as fast as possible to this. So we have types of investors, but I think I will talk about types of investors in the next video. What I was saying is that as family, so in order to move from a self-employed person to business or investing, you need a lot of money, and you don't have that enough money when you're young. That is when I'm saying that when you're young, in your 20s, 30s to 40s, family is an asset. Why? Because you can use, there's something called OTP and OTC and OPM. This is other people's time, and other people's money. You can use your family money and your other people's time in order to invest into your business. Your business, you can use family members and you can use your family money in order to invest in your business. So that is a family. A family is an asset when you're young, but when you get older, family is a liability. Why? Because if you have money, you will have to pay for your maybe brothers, some maybe an illness, because everyone in the family, when you have money, looks up to you, and that brings them into this side, a liability. But while you are still young, they are an asset because they provide for you. So I think that is financial literacy, and until this point, you have become financially literate, even if you didn't take a financial class or maybe MBA or a degree. So peace out, take care.